Good morning and welcome to Rose Red Homestead. I swear I'm almost giddy with excitement to show you this video. You all know how much I love gadgets, and I'm going to show you too. But I'm pretty picky about gadgets, and I'll explain that. I don't like to buy appliances that have only one purpose. And so when I can get multiple operations out of a single appliance or a single gadget, I'm just tickled pink. And that is exactly what we're going to be doing today. We have one new one and to show you, and one that we've had for a really long time that we're going to bring forward and show you. I think we made one video on it early on, but I'm going to do it again. And you all know that we focus on emergency preparedness as one of our three main pillars of what we do on this channel. Self-reliance and food security are the other two pillars. But I want to make a pitch one more time, and we'll probably keep doing this, how important it is for us to plan ahead so that if the grid goes down long term, we can run some of our appliances to keep our food safe. And that would be some kind of a generator. We have a family of Bluetti generators. And Jim, maybe it's time for us to do a video on what we do with our generators again.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah, it has been a while. So we'll work that into our repertoire as well to show you how we do it as just an example of one way that you can ensure that you can run major appliances. Our Bluettis will run our freezers and refrigerator. We have a big one that will run anything in the house, but it won't run the whole house at one time. We have a propane generator that will do 4 major rooms in our house. So be sure that you work toward becoming independent in terms of being able to supply the energy for the things that are really necessary. I would most certainly want to run a lot of my kitchen appliances if we were in a situation. A lot of what we have in our food storage depends on our ability to run at least some of our appliances, or some of our electrical appliances. So today we are going to do something that I've never done before, which is chicken meatballs. I have never made meatballs out of chicken, and we are going to grind our own chicken, our own ground chicken. And we are using an attachment, and this is what I love when I can make lots of uses of the appliances that I already have. I have replaced my KitchenAid for bread making with my Ankerstrom over here in the corner, and you've seen that one many times. I didn't throw away my KitchenAid because it still has a lot of good uses, and one of those uses is running appliances. And I'm really grateful that this company has made so many add-on attachments to make a variety of uses with the motor, the power that is in this appliance. This is a meat grinder, or actually it is a food grinder. And this is it. I got the metal one, not the plastic one. And this one is brand new. And Friday's video will show you another use that we are, and I'm so excited about that one too, another use that we are going to use with our new food grinder. This is the metal one, and I will put this in the product list below this video, as well as add it to our Amazon store in case you want to check it out. I'm going to be doing a little bit of experimentation. We have used this once before, but only with meat. Today, since it is a food grinder, I'm going to be running some other things down to catch that auger and come out this plate right here, which is this is the middle one that came with it in terms of the size of the holes that we'll be grinding our chicken. And I've always wanted a meat grinder. I used to have one years and years ago, an old hand crank one, but and I used it for a few things, but I just didn't like it very well. And on our last move, we lost some of the parts, so it's inoperable. Now with this chicken has been in the freezer for about half an hour. It is partially frozen, which makes it easier to put it through. So I'm going to be running not just the meat through the meat food grinder, but I'm also going to be running some onions and garlic and spinach through. So we're going to see how that works out. So I'm going to set it on 4. This is how much spinach I have left in this container, so I used probably, 3 or 4 medium handfuls of the spinach. I'm going to call that a couple of cups of fresh spinach in the recipe. So that's all there is to it, and I'm really excited about this. So let's add the rest of the ingredients to this. I'm going to add a couple of eggs. Half a cup of breadcrumbs, and I'm just using these Progresso breadcrumbs Italian style, and then some grated Parmesan cheese, 1/4 of a cup, for some flavor, and oh, my salt's almost gone. Probably about a teaspoon of salt. Some pepper. So let's mix this together and see what we've got. These are going to look green. So that was 1.5 pounds of chicken breast. So I'm just going to make these little meatballs. I think next time I won't run the spinach through there. I will either chop it myself or just get a package of frozen spinach and wring it out and use that. So there's little bits instead of, this was quite runny actually. But I think these will still be great. So I'm going to make these meatballs and get them going in the oven, and then we will be back to see what is next. Just a reminder that this recipe is a make and freeze recipe. This will be number 7, I believe. And you can find it on our website. The link is right here. Also, it is under the description of this video as well, and you can download that and have all 7 recipes that we have done so far. In terms of this recipe, even though I showed you our new gadget, our food grinder, you don't need to have a meat grinder in order to do this recipe, because you can buy ground chicken at your butcher at the grocery store. And then for the spinach and the other things, you can either hand chop them or do as I suggested, just getting one of those little boxes of frozen spinach, thaw it, wring it out, and then use as much of that in there as you would like to. So we're going to go ahead with our mushroom sauce, and I have our butane stove here. Putting a little olive oil in. And I have 1/2 pound of sliced mushrooms. These were quite large, and so I did more than slice them. I kind of chopped them in chunky pieces. And we're just going to saute them until they are done, which will take probably about, I don't know, 5 or 6 minutes. While we're working on that, letting that get started, our other gadget that we'll be using today is our spiralizer. And we've had this, I think, for probably about, I don't know, 8 or 10 years. And I really do like this. It does amazing things. And I use it mostly to make zoodles, which is the little curly Q noodles that you can make from zucchini. Or in this case, we're going to be using both zucchini and yellow squash. So that spiralizer will also be in the products list below the video and in our Amazon store if you want to check it out. Now, we're going to use the zoodles. I'm going to, after I spiralize these, I've got some squash right here that I'm going to do in just a minute. Then I'm going to boil it for about 3 or 4 minutes is all it takes to get done. Then we'll drain that, and we will use that as the bed for putting these chicken meatballs with mushroom sauce over the top. But you don't have to use squash. You could use rice. You could use pasta of some sort. You could even buy a spaghetti squash and do that. So there are lots of options for finishing off this recipe into a complete meal. So our mushrooms are going now. And I am going to add just a little bit more olive oil. The pan is a little bit dry. We should start seeing some of the moisture from these mushrooms leaching out into the pan. Okay, while those are going, let's do some zoodles. This has various blades, and I'm using the one that is especially for zoodles. Now the trick is that your squash has to be cut to a certain size, otherwise it won't fit, because this goes right here like this, and so I'm going to need to cut a little bit off of this. But what I cut off is certainly not going to go to waste. I will either also put it in place for zoodles, or we will just cook it separately. This is threaded right there. The blade is put in place, and I move it over onto the spiral, and then here we go. So it makes this little core, which you can either throw away. I just put it right in there, and I cook it right along with the zoodles. So I will continue doing the zoodles. But over here, let's check out our mushrooms. All right, they are nice and sauteed. So to finish off our sauce, one can of chopped tomatoes, 1 jar, 1/8 ounces of tomato sauce, and this is our home canned tomato sauce. One clove garlic minced, and then these 3 spices. I have a tablespoon of parsley, a tablespoon of basil, and a tablespoon, 1 tablespoon, 1 teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of oregano. So those go in with a little salt and pepper. And we stir this in, and then we're just going to let this simmer for about 5 minutes to thicken up just a little bit. And then this is what our chicken meatballs are going to be added to. So this sauce will go right over those meatballs. Smells wonderful. Well, are we ready for a taste test on this?
I guess we're ready for a taste test.
Okay, so that is too heavy for me to lift, so I'm so glad you're here.
Oh, I'm such a He-Man.
Yes, you are. Here are our meatballs, all out of the oven and done. They are nice and firm, and we checked them with a thermometer. They are all at least 165 degrees or more. You need to be sure and check chicken to be sure it's cooked enough. So if you will please dump the sauce on top of the meatballs. Okay. The sauce is very thick, which is what we want. Okay, thank you. Now I'm just going to mix up the meatballs with the sauce. That will cover the green a little bit. That spinach really did a green number on these meatballs. Now this is what it looks like. And here are our zoodles. I've put butter and salt and pepper on them and cooked them for about 2 minutes. They get done so fast. And so we just will use these just like spaghetti. Now it's still quite early in the morning, not anywhere near lunch, but we're going to do a little taste test, which will be an appetizer for dinner tonight.
Oh,
does that sound
like a nice
okay?
idea. Sure.
Okay.
I can do appetizers.
So I put just a few little zoodles. I would put more when we're actually going to be doing it. And then I'll grab a meatball with some mushroom sauce and put over the top. So it's really quite a pretty presentation with green meatballs and the squash zoodles. Okay, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so here we go. I actually want to show the inside of these meatballs close up. So you can see that, I hope that didn't go blurry. The inside of the meatballs are just flecked with the green spinach as well. It looks appetizing to me. Okay, so I'm going to grab a little meatball and a little zoodle with some mushrooms.
That's nice.
Isn't that great? Oh my gosh, I think it is wonderful. When Jim says that's nice, that's about as excited as he gets. Unless there's cheese involved. I think it is wonderful.
Take a bite of this with the mushroom. That's very nice.
Great flavor. Oh, very nice. Not just nice. This is going to be a great addition to our make and freeze meal collection. So just guessing that this is going to be about 4 meals for us. Then what I will do with this, as far as it goes, I will take the zoodles and put them in a separate baggie that will go inside a gallon baggie where I will put the meatballs and sauce. So it will be a meal packet. We'll wait until this gets completely cool and then we will bag it up. I'm thrilled with this. These chicken meatballs are wonderful, and I don't even care if they're green. They look all springy, even though we're heading into autumn. I'm inserting a little clip right here. After we finished licking the plate clean, that was so delicious. Even Jim said, this is really, really great. 2 reallys. I decided to do a different way of packaging. And so I have 3 containers that will be going in the freezer. And it has the zoodles on the bottom, and then I divided everything into thirds, so it has probably 6 or 7 meatballs here. So this will give us 3 meals. 1 will be for tonight, 2 will be going into the freezer. I also wanted to let you know that our gadgets that we use today, the food grinder and the spiralizer, all will be cleaned with stearamine. Stearamine is what I use for disinfectant. I'm going to be doing a video that is an update of one that I did about 5 years ago, and on keeping our kitchen clean, especially with the threat of listeria seeming to come more and more into the news today. And we'll be doing a video on listeria as well. But I'm overly conscientious now about making sure that my kitchen food prep area is clean. So what happened off camera in this video was I stearamined the whole countertop before we started. I stearamined it in between clips after we got the meatballs in the oven. I cleaned it again with stearamine. I'm washing my hands, I'm wearing gloves more often, and we're being very, very careful with our food. So thought I would just insert those so that you know kind of what happened behind the scenes and after the camera went off after we did our taste test. So thank you so much for being with us today, for sharing our our gadgets that we have used for this meal, and hopefully this is a recipe that you will want to try. So we appreciate you so much. We love our community, and we especially welcome those of you that are joining us. We are getting lots of new subscribers, for which we are deeply grateful. So thank you so much, and we will see you soon with more videos.
Take care. I'm going to have some more.